In a world covered by endless water is a character whose story is probably never going to be resolved. But hey, that doesn't mean we can't appreciate all of the crossover stuff they've been in. Megaman Volnutt is the protagonist of the Megaman Legends series, or Rockman Dash if you're in Japan. Unlike the Mega Man games up to that point, which had been primarily 2D action platformers, Legends was a 3D action-adventure game with RPG and dungeon-crawling elements. Taking place at the farthest known end of the Mega Man series chronology, you play as Volnutt, a digger that explores ruins in order to find refractors, a source of energy in the world. He's joined by his spotter, Ro, her grandfather, Barrel, and Data, who saves Volnutt's progress in more ways than you might think. Debuting on PlayStation 1 in 1997, before receiving a spin-off prequel and a full sequel on the same platform, the Legends games are easily some of the most lighthearted Mega Man games out there, featuring some of the best art design any game in the series has ever had. No, seriously, 32-bit era 3D, despite my affinity for it, is definitely pretty rough to look at more often than not, but the Legends games are one of the few 3D titles from that era that's aged like fine wine visually, thanks to its aesthetic design. Everything from the art style itself, to its animation, its use of color, and even the surprisingly decent voice acting makes for a gaming experience laced with good vibes.
Just you wait till we get back, you're in a lot of trouble! Oh no!
If the classic series was influenced by the likes of Astro Boy and Neo-Human Kashan, Legends is a lovingly crafted send-up of Hayao Miyazaki works like Castle in the Sky and Future Boy Conan, with most of the world covered by water and the main crew traveling primarily by airship. The first game starts with the main cast ship, the Flutter, having mechanical issues after a dig and having to crash land on Cadillac's Island, where the game takes place. There, in an effort to scrounge up enough parts to repair their ship, they go on digs in the island's underground ruins and get involved with the general affairs of the island. Along the way, they're encountered by the Bone family, a trio of air pirate siblings using advanced mechanical weaponry, though when circumstances call for it, they'll ally with Volnutt. They consist of Tezo, the oldest and the leader, Bon, the youngest, and the middle child, and the most famous by far, Tron. Over the course of the game, he learns more about his past and how it ties in with the greater world around him, and even beyond that. Honestly, I can't say enough good things about these games. The controls in the first one take some getting used to, but I think it's worth enduring them to experience the game for the first time, and it really makes you appreciate all of the refinements made to the sequel. Mega Man Legends 2 infamously ends on a cliffhanger, one that actually hasn't been resolved, though at one point it was looking like it might actually happen. Of course, the whole Mega Man Legends 3 situation happened the way it did, and suffice to say, we probably won't be getting that conclusion anytime soon. Still though, the Legends games have a fair amount of fans both generally and within Capcom seemingly, as it was the second Mega Man sub-series to appear in the Versus games after the classic series, getting 2 representatives in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. As we all know, Capcom's intercompany crossover fighters went on hiatus throughout most of the 2000s, but were resurrected with the release of Tatsunoko vs. Capcom in the arcades as well as the Wii in 2008. And there, we got a newly playable Legends character in the form of Volnutt, making his first playable fighting game appearance. Revealed at Super Battle Opera 2008, Volnutt was the first new protagonist with the title of Mega Man included in the Capcom Vs. game since classic Mega Man in Marvel 1, though Tron and Servbot beat him to being the first Legends characters in the Vs. games. He's voiced in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom by Mayumi Tanaka, who's voiced the character in Japan since the first Legends game, coming back for the sequel, as well as Volnutt's appearance in Namco Cross Capcom. Tanaka, of course, is best known for providing the voice of Luffy in One Piece, as well as Krillin and Yajirobe in Dragon Ball, and Koenma in Yu Yu Hakusho. True legend of the game right here, folks. Though Volnutt only has this one crossover fighter appearance, Legends is the Mega Man series with the most overall representation in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, so there's still a good deal to talk about. Let's get into it. Like classic Mega Man in Marvel 1 and 2, Volnutt can use various weapons from his home game, though the way said weapons are implemented into his moveset differs a bit. Volnutt's something of a stance character, being able to swap his equipped weapons on the fly, allowing him to swap between zoning and getting physical at a moment's notice. His shield arm completely negates chip damage, which is really nice. His standard projectile is a great zoning tool and gets even better if you combine it with his weapon swap, which lets him fire them out far faster than normally possible. His drill arm hyper combo is absurdly good, especially as an anti-air. His assist is also pretty great as well. Unfortunately, he has the worst level 3 super in the game, being completely screwed over by damage scaling, even if you mash it. Machine gun sweep is useful in combos, but outside of that, can be very easily punished by opponents with enough awareness. And his weapon switching in general might take a bit of time for newcomers to come to grips with. Volnutt's theme in the Course Generation of Heroes release is an abridged arrangement of the Flutter vs. the Gesellschaft from Megaman Legends. This was the theme that played in the cutscene preceding the fight against the Bone family's massive airship. We'll talk more about the Gesellschaft in a bit. That said, if your only exposure to Mega Man Legends is through crossover games, I wouldn't blame you for thinking that this is the only notable song in the series, because nearly every time a Legends character pops up in a crossover, this theme gets remixed. Here's just a few of the versions. There's one more arrangement I haven't mentioned yet, but I'll be saving that for a future episode. Wouldn't want her stealing the spotlight just yet. Volnutt's weapon switching allows him to play a more zoning-oriented playstyle, a more defensive one, or even a more physical in-your-face style with a simple input, and this is key to getting the most out of him as a character. Before we get into the meat of his moveset, I do want to point out that his standing medium attack is the little kick from Mega Man Legends, which is neat. If anyone that's played Mega Man Legends hasn't kicked the can in Apple Market around at least once, they're either lying or don't know what fun is. Volnutt also has a notable command normal, forward and medium attack. This is a wind-up punch with a good bit of hit stun, though you have to use a weapon switch or Baroque to combo off of it since it doesn't do so naturally. Volnutt's weapon switches very notably change this command normal into something different depending on the weapon equipped. We'll go over each one. Volnutt's heavy attack is a small blast from his buster. This can be done in the air as well. This looks kinda puny, but if you know what you're doing, this can be one of the more annoying projectiles in the game to contend with. The buster is of course Volnutt's main weapon, and his standard ranged attack in the Legends games. Volnutt can also charge his buster as well, up to 4 levels, doing more damage and dealing more hits with every level. Volnutt notably can't charge his buster like this in Legends, so this was done specifically for this game. I guess they just wanted every Mega Man protagonist in the Versus games to be able to charge their buster, which is fair. Weapon Switch is Volnutt's most important special, which can be done with a down-down motion and any attack button, though the strength of the attack button dictates which weapon he'll swap to. Light attack swaps to the machine buster, medium swaps to the shield arm, and heavy swaps to the drill arm, each with their own properties and nuances. This can also be done in the air, and if you cancel his jumping buster into it and then immediately use jumping buster again, you can create some annoying projectile spam for your opponent to navigate. However, there's 2 additional inputs for weapon swapping. The first is doing a quarter circle motion with the requisite attack button. Volnutt will do a short dash forward while switching weapons. This can be done in the air as well. If you do a quarter circle back and any attack button, he'll do a similar maneuver, but moving backwards instead of forwards. Like with the standard weapon switch, this can also be combined with his jumping buster for some hilarious projectile lockdown. If you want to swap back to his default fist option from any weapon, simply input the weapon swap for the current variation you have equipped. Weapon switching with light attack gives you the machine buster. This comes from the first Mega Man Legends game, where it's one of the earliest special weapons Volnutt can obtain, allowing him to rapidly fire for as much ammunition as he has. His forward medium command normal becomes the Machine Buster attack, rapidly firing multiple shots directly forward. This can be used in the air as well. If you hold down forward and press medium attack, Volnutt will do an angled version of this. On the ground, he'll fire diagonally upwards, and while in the air, he'll fire diagonally downwards. Weapon switching with medium attack gives you the shield arm. This one is in both Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. As the name suggests, this projects a shield in front of Volnutt that can protect him for as long as it's held out in front of him. In Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, shield arm comes with a few benefits, both passive and active. For one, when in this stance, Volnutt is immune to all chip damage, similarly to Iceman in the Marvel vs. fighters. Its dedicated command normal with forward and medium causes a wall bounce on hit and can be done in the air. Volnutt can get some pretty easy solo relaunches by using the aerial version of this move. Moreover, the command normal attack can also reflect projectiles when timed correctly. Weapon switching with heavy attack gives you the drill arm. This one has appeared in both Legends games as well as Namco Cross Capcom, and is even in that mobile phone entry that recently managed to get preserved and fan translated. His forward medium command normal with this equipped is a low drill attack that hits multiple times. His down forward medium command normal is more notable. It's an uppercut with the drill instead. This variation can also be done in the air as well. Volnutt's first hyper combo is Machine Gun Sweep, done with a quarter circle back in 2 attacks.
Fantastic!
Volnutt fires a stream of bullets from his Machine Buster, with the direction he fires in being controllable by holding either up or down. This can be done in the air as well, though sometimes, depending on how you cancel into it, or the height of the opponent relative to your position, the opponent might fall out of it, leaving Volnutt open. Doing this super automatically leaves Volnutt in his Machine Buster stance, so keep that in mind. His next super is Max Power Drill Uppercut, done with the Dragon Punch motion in 2 attacks.
Very good!
This is a fantastic hyper combo that functions as a great anti-air and does a decent amount of damage. The startup of this also has a slight vacuum effect that can catch an opponent off guard if they're within range. Volnutt is automatically left in his drill arm stance after using this. Volnutt's level 3 hyper combo is Max Power Shining Laser, done with the quarter circle forward and 2 attack buttons.
Wonderful!
Volnutt starts this with a glowing hit grab. If it connects with an opponent not blocking, it proceeds to a cinematic of Volnutt blasting the opponent sky high with Shining Laser. The good news is that this level 3 looks cool as all hell. It's one of my absolute favorites in the game alongside Zero, Karas, and Megaman Blades. Now for the bad news. The damage scaling on this super absolutely sucks. So much so that it's the level 3 with the lowest damage total in the game. In most cases, it's actually a lot more optimal to combo into either of his level 1 supers instead of this. You can combo out of it, but honestly, given the damage scaling penalties, all that meter is better saved for his Drill Super or Mega Crash. Shining Laser is usually a late game weapon that can be built in every Legends game, allowing Volnutt to fire a powerful concentrated laser, usually with infinite ammo. It's usually one of the stronger weapons in his repertoire. Interestingly, Volnutt had a completely different, non-cinematic version of this move in his original reveal trailer. His assist is Drill Upper.
Assist okay! Good!
Here are Volnutt's colors. Color 2 vaguely reminds me of Teizoban's color scheme, but I don't know for sure if that's intentional or not. Here are Volnutt's endings in Cross Generation of Heroes and Ultimate All-Stars.
Nani nani? 落としてしまったドクロ型の。よっこらしょった。いいお土産ができたぞ。これってもしかして大変だ。
あなたがロック君ね。情報提供感謝するわ。ドクロストーンはどこに？
そこです。すいません。
Megaman Legends is interesting in that it's one of two IP in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom to get two variations of a single stage, the other being Kashan. As far as Legends goes, the location used is the Gesellschaft, the flying airship used by the Bone family in the Legend series. Gesellschaft itself is the German word for society, which seems a little random, though the vast majority of the Bone's machines have German-themed naming, so it fits in well with that. In line with that, Legends 2 has a Bone boss machine called Gemeinschaft, meaning community in German, which brings the naming scheme here together. Both words together form the basis of a categorization of sociology, coined by German philosopher and sociologist Ferdinand Tönnies. To fund development of this massive ship, Teaselbahn took out a 1 million Zenny loan, a loan he didn't tell either of his siblings about. It wasn't until a man named Glide kidnaps Bahn and Teasel, intending to finally collect on that debt, that this is revealed to Tron, leading to the event of the prequel game The Misadventures of Tron Bahn. The Gesellschaft itself serves as the hub area for Tron in said game, but was first and most prominently depicted in the first Legends game, being a boss fight Mega Man takes on while aboard the Flutter. That said, the stage in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom takes place in the ship's hangar, and very specifically, seems to be designed after this piece of concept art from Legends 1. Fittingly, since they all live here, there's a bunch of servbots in the background, wandering around, performing duties, and even watching the fight. The servbots watching the fight always wander over to the side of the screen the action is on, following the players. There's a hangar door in the background showing various islands being flown over. Though the first Legends game primarily takes place on Cadillac's Island, Legends 2 and the mobile phone interval hop between various island locales over the course of their respective games. There's a large engine to the far left of the stage, likely one of many on the ship. The design of the engine seems to again largely borrow from concept art for Legends 1 mentioned earlier. Various Bone family mechs can be seen in the background as well. First off is this small airship the servbots in Bone family occasionally use.
Get in, quick! Right.
Then there's this one, which appears in the first game as an early boss, having to fight 3 of them, each colored differently. The hangar door intermittently opens wider before shutting about halfway, and if you look at the top right corner, you can spot a lone servbot manning the door mechanism. The stage theme is a pretty cool track punctuated by its brass instruments. Despite it being a song for a Mega Man Legends stage, I actually tend to associate this song with Frank West, since this theme played for his reveal trailer for Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. There's a second variation of this stage as well, taking place during a thunderstorm. Here, the servbots are more visibly panicked, running around, flailing about. Some will even trip and fall before proceeding with said flailing. There's one Servbot in particular that'll occasionally be chased down by a rolling barrel twice its size. Looking out in the hangar door, you can sometimes see another smaller ship attempt to fly alongside the Gesellschaft, possibly to dock inside, only to get hit by a bolt of lightning and plunge off screen. My personal favorite part of the stage is the little background gag going on with the door. After a while, you'll see some Servbots with what looks like a giant key. They'll all work together to insert it and turn it so that they can close the hangar door. Eventually though, they fail and they all humorously fall back down to the ground, the key just flying away off screen. The lone Servbot from the regular version of the stage is still here too, though he'll get really startled when the above takes place. The music for this stage is yet another incredibly funky track, and my personal favorite theme in the game. I was in college when Ultimate All-Stars released, so I have a lot of fond memories of loading up this stage in training mode and letting the music play while studying or sneaking in some labbing. Volnutt may have only been in one game, or at least one game with 2 revisions, but I'd say he made great use of his time in the Versus series. I think of the main Megaman we've had so far, he's the most uniquely designed, though some of that also comes down to classic Megaman and X's movesets being a little underwhelming in their respective games. That said, this was pretty much Volnutt's last major playable appearance for a long while, though he did pop up in X-Dive eventually, for whatever that's worth. He did have a cameo in Tron's Marvel 3 ending, which is pretty neat though. He's also in the background of the running battle stage in the Saturn and PS1 versions of Pocket Fighter, and appears in Mega Man's Final Smash and Smash Bros. As well. While Legends 3 is just a pipe dream, a mobile phone integral, Great Adventure on 5 Islands, was recently preserved and fan translated, and while it's very obviously a 2008 mobile phone game with all the fidelity and performance that implies, it's a surprisingly good time in spite of that. I think you kinda have to take the small victories as a Mega Man fan these days, and I'd say that certainly qualifies. Still though, weirder things have happened, so maybe we'll see Volnutt again, even if not in a full sequel. Maybe a Legacy collection. Only time will tell, I suppose. All that said, that's going to do it for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and a big thanks to the patrons that support the channel. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.